Welcome back to another episode of Life's Playbook podcast. Season 2, episode 5 of the show. It's been NBA All-Star weekend. NBA All-Star Saturday night was last night, obviously. Let's go over some of the big things that went down in yesterday's All-Star night. And since this is NBA All-Star weekend, it means we are now officially halfway, if not a little bit past halfway, of the regular season. So the playoffs are on the horizons in the NBA. So, with that being said, y'all let me know what you think in the comments below on the certain events that I'll be from All-Star Night that I'll be talking about today. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about some of the events, whether some of these events should stay or not. And with that being said, let's get into today's episode. And as always, the game never ends here. I'm your host, Quinn Jackson of Life'sPlaybook podcast. Let's get into it. Well, NBA All-Star Week. What a night. What a Saturday night. If you are a huge NBA fan, it's no secret that you probably tuned into last night's events. Got a feel for the All-Star, this year's All-Star Week. I believe the All-Star game itself is tonight with Team Chuck taking on Team Kenny and Team Shaq going at it tonight. So, stay tuned for that. In the meantime, let's talk about all the various skills events and the three-point contest and obviously the most iconic, the AT&T Slam Dunk contest, and who won each of those contests, and my thoughts on each of the contests, as well as your guys' thoughts. Again, make sure to leave your thoughts on these events in the comments below if you tuned in to this year's All-Star Week. Let's start with the Skills Challenge. The 2025 Skills Challenge featured Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama representing the San Antonio Spurs, Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell representing the Cavs. They were the final two in the showdown of that Skills Challenge. The Cavs end up winning the Skills Challenge. Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley get the job done in this event. Very well deserved, representing Cleveland well. Very, very interesting, very different compared to last year. Victor and Chris Paul at the start got disqualified from the Skills Challenge right off rip. They apparently forgot the rules of the challenge, and the Cavs end up, and obviously the performance by Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell as well helped the Cavs win that challenge. But yeah, very, very much different as opposed to last year's Skills Challenge. Me personally, from a fan standpoint, the Skills Challenge is kind of, in terms of, again, a fan standpoint and the All-Star Week itself, it's not very interesting. Don't know why the NBA continues to have it every year. I get it. They want to show off some of these star athletes' skills and whatnot through all these different obstacles and courses and whatnot, but I just don't think from an entertainment standpoint that's really entertaining. Again, as an NBA fan myself, and there's probably a lot of other longtime NBA fans out there that would agree with me on the Skills Challenge, that it's not very interesting, not very entertaining. I understand it. Again, you want to show off, it's a skills showcase, essentially, obviously. So it's understandable, but from an entertainment standpoint, it's probably not the best thing to keep doing in the All-Star Week and All-Star weekends to come moving forward. Me personally, if I was the commissioner, and I would look at this and say, we gotta do something to make this, either try to make the Skills Challenge more engaging or just scrap it all together, because obviously Chris Paul and Wembanyama getting disqualified right off the bat is not a very good look for not just All-Star Saturday night, but for that specific challenge. So, if I was the NBA commissioner, I would look into that and discuss whether we bring it back 2026 All-Star Weekend or we just scrap it for something new. But I think we can all agree as NBA fans, from an entertainment standpoint, that Skills Challenge is not exactly something that we look forward to. It's not something that we want to see. We want to see some different things. Moving on, the three-point contest. Tyler Hero from the Miami Heat ends up winning that one. He was a representative of the Heat. He went up against Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield from the Warriors ends up losing that one by 1 point. Again, another interest. It's another interesting um, competition, sure, but again, from an entertainment standpoint, is it really in the fans' best interests? From an entertainment standpoint, is that something that we want to see? Now, last year when they did the Sabrina versus Steph shootout, that was something interesting. Like, we tuned into something like that. Obviously, they didn't bring it back this year, which kind of not shocked, but it's a head scratcher why they didn't bring it back, because that was something that we did wanted to see. A little WNBA versus NBA shootout action. That was definitely something new, and it was definitely something interesting. And it was a success, I would say. But again, 3-point contest from an entertainment standpoint, as a fan myself, and I'm sure there are many other fans out there. Again, if I was the NBA commissioner, I would find a way to make these events more engaging, and give these all stars an incentive, because we all know there's a huge problem with things like the Pro Bowl and things like All Star Weekend and things of those fun sorts in popular sports like the NFL and the NBA. And we all know that the big problem for the All Star Weekend is getting these players, the All Stars themselves, to take not necessarily take these events seriously, but you want to make it look like it's something worth watching, if you know what I mean. Like, obviously, we don't want to see the players go all out, because it's supposed to be a fun little event that takes place every year, halfway through the NBA season. And you gather all these big stars together to do that. So I understand they're not supposed to go 100%, but at least put forth some effort. Point is, at least put forth some effort and make these competitions entertaining, more entertaining for the fans, more engaging for the fans. That's definitely, obviously, it's been one of the weaker areas of the NBA. It's the All Star Weekend, and it's a contributing factor as to why the ratings as a whole for the NBA has been so low. But again, obviously, if I was the NBA commissioner, I would look into the 3-point contest, maybe tweak some things about it. Maybe bring back, obviously, the shootout with Sabrina versus Steph, or maybe it doesn't have to be exactly those two, but kind of make it a regular thing with like different athletes from certain WNBA teams or a certain NBA team, and have them go at it, because again, that shootout was something that was entertaining. It was something that we all wanted to see. WNBA versus the NBA. But that was 3-point contest. Obviously, Tyler Hero from Miami Heat won that, if you haven't been keeping up with the NBA All-Star Week. Also, before I forget, let me know in the comments below what you thought of this year's celebrity game. Was it a success, or was it a joke? Was it a bust? But let me know in the comments below. I personally didn't watch that game. Rome Flynn won MVP of that game. So again, let me know in the comments below if you watched the celebrity game, what you thought of it. Was it entertaining, or was it a bust? But with that being said, let's move on to the main attraction, really, of All-Star Saturday night, and really of the NBA All-Stars as a whole. And that is the AT&T Slam Dunk Contest. Obviously, Mac McClung, he three-peated. He won in 2023, won in 2024, and he won this year in 2025. Again, phenomenal athlete, great guy, very entertaining to watch, very entertaining to see. And the Slam Dunk Contest, I thought it was, this year, the Slam Dunk Contest was okay. Definitely certain athletes, certain stars from other teams were snubbed, you could argue. They were snubbed of winning the Slam Dunk Contest, but Mac McClung is that dude. He is that dude, at least when it comes to showing out and showing up for the slam dunk contest. Now, the slam dunk contest has been something it's been kind of the the the, the, the final string. Let's say it's been the very thin string that's the NBA All Star afloat, because everybody tunes in to watch the dunk contest. Everybody tunes in to see the stunts and the tricks that are pulled off, and it is entertaining some years. Now, some years, as of recent, hasn't been that good. But ever since Mac McClung stepped in and whatnot, and you've gotten a lot of younger stars involved, which I'll get into that in a minute. But ever since you got guys like that and younger stars involved, it's kind of it's looked up. I would say it's not perfect like it used to be, but it's looked up, and it has been kind of the last pillar and the only standing pillar really to the NBA All Star Week, because obviously we know that a huge problem with All Star Weekend is the stars and getting them to put forth some effort. So, with that being said, congrats to all the winners of the Skills Challenge 3-point contest, the Celebrity Game, and whatnot, in the Slam Dunk contest. Obviously, really the only entertaining one was the Slam Dunk contest, but tonight is the All Star Game. Obviously, you have Team Shaq, Team Kenny, Team going at it. I think this is going to be very different. Very different. I think it'll go one of two ways. It'll be good and entertaining, or it'll be bad. It'll be mid. Now, the teams themselves, I did get a chance to look at each team, and they're all pretty stacked, respectively. They're all pretty stacked in and of themselves. So I think it'll be good. It'll be decent. Hopefully, it'll be good. Team Shaq's team is going up against Rising Stars, and the Rising Stars team is composed of obviously rookie athletes, younger athletes that are climbing the ranks in their career. They're making a name for themselves. So that'll be interesting to see Shaq's team go up against Rising Stars. It'll be interesting to see Team Barkley's team go up against Team Kenny's team. Again, both stacked. I don't really have a clear winner for both matches. Obviously, the winner of Barkley and Smith goes on to play the winner of Shaq in his game. But again, could be entertaining, it could be interesting, it could be fun. But obviously this is one of those other events that's really, again, struggled in the past for All-Star Week. Obviously the big area of concern is effort. These All-Stars, as of late, effort hasn't been there, you could say. The effort hasn't been there as of late. There's kind of no real way to get it engaging, but at the same time there is a way to make it engaging. Now, I'm not going to give you personally how I would fix All-Star Night and the All-Star Weekend, but I will say that certain events should stay, certain events should go. They need to tweak some things about certain other different events. I will say though, I think one thing that they should do moving forward is implement some sort of one-on-one tournament, like the WNBA. They have a little minor league. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the WNBA, but they have a little minor league called the Rivals, something like that. And they do different things. They do one-on-ones and whatnot. And the whole point of that league, obviously, is to help the players in and of themselves make more money and whatnot. It's an incentive for the players to make more money. But I'm saying, if we want to make All-Star Night interesting, I think one thing that could be fun and could be worth watching, is doing something like a one-on-one, a 1v1 tournament. Now, Draymond, I saw a tweet this past week, and Draymond came out and kind of conveyed this exact same idea of having a 1v1 type of tournament, a 1v1 type of event. And I think that would be interesting. I think that would be entertaining to watch. I think it, obviously, if there's a big prize at the end, like a cash incentive or something, that would really get the stars' attention. I think and plus there are a lot of obviously older players that I think are still capable of competing in something like this, and there are a lot of younger rising stars, obviously, that would make something like a one-on-one tournament interesting. and entertaining. So I do think an addition like that would be very, very good. It would be healthy for the NBA. Something new, something that's never really been touched on in the NBA. But I do like that idea that Draymond kind of conveyed. Personally, if I was the commissioner, I would look into actually doing it because, again, I think it's healthy. It gets a lot of different athletes' names out there. We get to see a lot more rising stars go out there and showcase their skills. And I just think the matchups, something the matchups too would be interesting to see as well. I think that would be something to see as well. Obviously, you'd have to sort it out because you don't want to have like a big man going up against a point guard. You'd have to sort it out by like positioning or something like that, height, something like that, and have in an individual award for each position. But I think something like that would really be healthy. It would be helpful. It would be helpful to the NBA if they kind of looked into something like that and kind of implemented that into their All Star weekend. Again, obviously, that wouldn't completely fix it, but I think it would be a huge step in the right direction because who doesn't love watching a good 1v1? Who wouldn't love watching Steph versus Kyrie in a 1v1 or LeBron versus KD in a 1v1? Who wouldn't love watching that? Who wouldn't love watching some younger guys in a 1v1? Some MVP candidates in a 1v1? Who wouldn't love watching that? So that is something that I do think that if I was the commissioner, I would throw out. I would throw that idea out there, kind of get a consensus and see what the fans as well as the players would think. But I do think something like a 1v1 tournament or something of that nature would be pretty cool. It would be interesting. It would be fun. Again, obviously, it wouldn't be the savior to all the problems, but it would definitely be a big step in the right direction. Obviously, with the 3-point contest and the skills challenge, you'd have to tweak or just remove the two and replace them with something better, different. With the dunk contest, obviously, you'd have to tweak that as well because even though the dunk contest has been really the last staple of All Star Weekend, it has had its problems as well. It has had its problems. The celebrity game as well. It's been a problem. You'd have to find ways to make that interesting as well. But there are things that can work. There are things that can work in the years to come. In the years to come for the next All Star weekends and the next years to come, there are things that can work, and there are things that need to be removed, like the skills challenge. It's kind of a joke. The celebrity game, as of recent years, is kind of a joke. So again, you've got to figure out a way to change some things, fix some things, add some things. I do think the idea of a one-on-one tournament would be cool. I think it would be entertaining, and I would tune in a lot more if they did something like that, or maybe a 3-on-3 tournament even. Little things like that, little subtle things like that, and implementing them. I think it's a step in the right direction for All Star Weekend for sure. It's a step in the right direction, and I'd be all for it. I think the players would be all for it, fans would be all for it, and I think it would be healthy for the ratings. But that's just my idea. That's just one of my ideas, really. But well, really Draymond's idea. But I think it's a good idea in and of itself to do that. Again, obviously, bring back like the little shootouts as well, like we had last year with Sabrina from the WNBA versus Steph. Start regulating something like that. That could be interesting as well. But again, these are all just subtle, small ideas for the NBA to think think about. But in my opinion, and I think a lot of NBA fans would agree with me on saying this, I think that we would all love to see little things like that be implemented. We'd love to see some changes, obviously, to some of the current events that we have now, and we'd like to see obviously the stars put in some more effort. Again, obviously, I don't expect these guys to go out there and play like they're in the NBA Finals because it's not really required. Because this, again, some things like the Pro Bowl and All Star Weekend, they're fun little events that take place. Obviously, the Pro Bowl takes place after the regular season in the NFL, and All Star Weekend takes place about halfway in the regular season in the NBA. But So I don't expect these guys to go out there and play like they're playing in the NBA Finals, but I do expect, and I think a lot of NBA fans would agree with me on this. We do expect these guys to go out there and put forth some sort of effort and make it entertaining. Play some defense every now and then. Effort essentially is the point I'm conveying. We want to see some actual effort from these guys, and whether that be implementing a cash prize or something like that at the end of the game, every game, or at the end of the tournaments, whether that be the job that gets the job done, hey, I'm all for it. But it is no secret that this year's, in my opinion at least, this year's 2025 All Star Weekend has been it hasn't been to the level that we've seen in the good years past. And I think a lot of NBA fans would agree with me on that as well. Again, this is all opinion based, but we've seen in years past that it hasn't been great, and we as fans have seen the struggles. We've seen opportunities as well to improve All-Star Weekend. It's all just a matter of whether the NBA acts upon it, and they see the same things that we're seeing. But again, all ideas, all opinions. I hope personally that some of these opinions and ideas are actually put into action, because again, it would help the NBA and it would help All-Star Weekend. But with that being said, this has been Season 2, Episode 5 of the Life'sPlaybook podcast. Rather short episode today, but All-Star Weekend in and of itself is rather short. Again, stay tuned for the All-Star games, which I believe are tonight. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you're a huge NBA fan, correct me if I'm wrong. But stay tuned for those. Again, let me know in the comments below what you thought of the celebrity game, if you took the time to watch that. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys Tuesday for Season 2, Episode 6 of the Life's Playbook podcast. With that being said, peace out.